The bottom one, by the way, is St John's. That's more sort of Harry Potter, right? But they all function the same way. So students sit at the long tables coming down the hall, and then at the far end we've got what we call high table, which is where the important people, what we call the fellows, the people who run the college. Now somebody asked me a question as we came on, how does it all work? Well, it's a little bit complicated. So when you're about 17, you're thinking where you might like to go to university. And, hopefully your school, if you're bright enough, will suggest you apply to either Oxford or Cambridge, which are the two top universities in the country. They have open days, so you can come and have a look. Now, because there are 31 colleges, you can't visit 31 colleges, so you might pick one or two to have a look at during that day. More importantly, you will want to go to the faculty building of the department that you're going to be most involved in. So, if you were coming here to read law, you would want to go and have a look at the law faculty. And a lot of the faculty buildings today aren't medieval, they're ultra modern, by very famous architects. So for instance, that building there is the law faculty. Yeah. So very different to what they're living in, the university buildings, and they're expanding like mad. So that was what you would do on your visit. You go back to school and hopefully that would inspire you to work even harder so you get the grades to come here. When you're applying to the university, you apply to Cambridge University, but on the application form you put the name of the college of your choice, and that's where you will be interviewed. So you then wait for a letter and they will hopefully ask you to come for an interview. Now they could ask you to stay overnight, depends what they've got in mind for you. If you're doing a humanities subject, they will probably ask you to write something so they see what you're actually like. If you're doing science and maths, then they will set you some papers to see how you handle it. You don't know after the interview how well you've done. They give you no indication whatsoever. You go back to school, back to home, and wait for a letter to come in the post. And it would either say, congratulations, we look forward to receiving you, but normally it's conditional upon your actual exam results that come through, later. So if you don't get your A star and your 2 A's, say you end up with 2 B's, you can't come here. It's as simple as that. You just can't. These days you don't have the option either of applying to both Oxford and Cambridge. You used to years ago. So you have to decide, is it going to be Oxford or is it going to be Cambridge? Yeah.
Which one do you think is better?
I'm biased. Cambridge, of course. Cambridge is so fast moving on the sort of technology and science front. I mean, it's phenomenal. We've got about 58,000 people currently working in technology, small technology-based biotech sort of companies. We have lots of what we call science parks around Cambridge, but they're all interconnected. And these days, when students have graduated, so they've done their PhDs and they come up with brilliant ideas, and they want to market, they want to start their own businesses, but they don't know how to do that. And the university now have an organisation within the university that sets them up.
So as far as money goes, did the universities raise their own money, their own endowments, or is there also governmental funding?
They do get some governmental money, but there are fees that are introduced. So if you come here as a UK student or from the EU, everybody pays the same at the moment. With Brexit, there's a real question mark over how that's going to affect education generally. But currently you pay £9,000 a year. So whether you're reading a humanities subject or you're doing medicine, it's £9,000 a year. You then pay a fee to your college because this is your home, this is where you're living, which works out at about, if you say about £6,000 a year on top of the 9 that was balanced out there. However, if you come from outside the EU, the structure is very different. The college fee is the same, so you're not penalised, you don't pay more, but the university you pay considerably more. So if you were saying reading something like mathematics, you'd be paying £20,000 a year instead of 9. So that's the difference. However, having said that, 30% of the students here come from overseas. We've got a lot of American people here. They don't tend to come as undergrads. a lot of Europeans, but not Americans. They tend to do their postgraduate stuff with research as well. It's a very big American community actually here in Cambridge. Have you heard of a company called AstraZeneca? Yeah, they just moved to Cambridge. 2,000 staff, and they're having their own campus launch. About 3 miles from here, near the Admiral's Hospital site. Microsoft have moved their European headquarters here, but that goes back quite a while because when I first trained 19 years ago, Bill Gates was just sort of on the scene then, and he was trying to poach our computing people. And the university got wind of it, so the powers that be decided we've got to stop this drain. So they invited him to the university to see what he was about really, entertained him in the evening, to dinner. And at the end, apparently Bill Gates said, oh yeah, I'm very impressed with what goes on here, and I want to invest here. So he paid for 2 fantastic laboratories, one for Microsoft and one for the university, and they interact together. And then more recently they moved the European headquarters near the railway station. So yeah, it's a very fast-moving place. So the purpose of the college is it is your home, but you leave your college after breakfast in the morning, you go off to where you need to be for your laboratories or lecture theatres, you come back during the day if you want, no restriction at all, but it's a university that provides the teaching outside of college. Does that make sense? Yeah? Yeah. So the teaching that takes place here is what we call supervision. Now within colleges you have your own tutor, so that you fall behind, there's somebody there to nudge you along, and they look at your work on a very regular basis. Supervision works really, really well because the dropout rate here is minuscule compared to other universities where you can lose 30% of your students within the third half year. So it just proves it does work. So place to eat, place to pray, and then the other rooms, student accommodation, so place to study. The beautiful classical building over there, totally different to the Gothic architecture elsewhere, so that's 18th century. That was built for the fellows of the college. Now fellows are academics, but they have this added responsibility for financial, make sure all the books are straight, the architecture, restoration of buildings, all that, because the teachers of colleges are independent. They don't belong to anybody at all, permanently. They're just passed on to the next sort of generation. So years ago, when you were a fellow of a college, you weren't allowed to marry. You had to remain a bachelor, although some of them married in secret and kept their wives out there. So one of the privileges was that you were given a suite of rooms within that building over there. Now the fellows still have those rooms, but they don't live here now. They live out and they commute in like everybody else. But I guess, if they have a row with their spouse, so they've got a college place that they can come and retreat to if necessary. And let's go around to the top.
You're teleporting. I swear you are. You're just like not seeing the tour. Just walk past. You already know it all. Oh.
don't have to pay in advance. You just turn up.
Right, I bought a ticket,
Oh,
but
you don't
just
have
so
to.
it was done.
Yeah.
But I know that you can just.
Yeah. Oh dear. Can you hear the organ? We're in a real taxi now.
What happened to it?
They put it to pieces to clean it. Because it's been there for, well, since the 1600s.
Oh, wow.
So a very long time.
Dusty.
So they thought it was time to take every single piece apart. And it's taken about 9 months. So as we're walking around here, we're going to have to go round here to get into the chapel on the other side. But looking this way, the Land King goes all the way down. You see the metal fence, and you can see some people coming along the river. And then beyond the front here, there is that children's college, the main road, and then you've got the Fellows Garden beyond there. And this is not unusual for a college to have this amount of land.